To other stories now, the federal government says it would welcome assistance from the United States in fighting armed groups as long as its territorial integrity is respected. This is happening at a time when the U.S. President Donald Trump continues to threaten military action over what he claimed as the persecution of Christians. The federal government is insisting that Boko Haram and Al-Qaeda-linked groups target people of all faiths in Africa's most populous country. But Trump, who has directed his government to prepare for possible, quote, fast military action, doubled down on the threat, saying he was considering a range of military options in Nigeria. Kimiebi Ebiemfa, spokesperson for Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in an interview also denied President Trump's claims of mass killings of Christians. Joining me for more insights on the threats by the United States President Donald Trump on the security situation in Nigeria is Mr. David Obole, who is a public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Uncle.
So I would start by asking you, when you heard the comments, made by the president, what was your first reaction? What was the interpretation you got from the alleged genocide comments made by the U.S. president?
Okay, to put the issues in proper perspective, there are 5 elements that threaten national security: war, insurrection, terrorism, espionage, and natural disasters. Apart from a full-blown war, the other 4 elements are active in Nigeria. But the most pronounced among them in terms of spread is the matter of terrorism. And we all have come to the point of agreement, regardless of our faith or our religious belief, that terrorism has cost Nigeria so much. It is a phenomenon that has led to mountains of bodies, rivers of blood, and millions displaced from their ancestral homesteads in Nigeria. And statistics has it that between 2023 and 2024, the indigenous households in Nigeria paid nothing less than 2.23 trillion as ransom, to kidnappers and bandits, who have continued to threaten national security. And between 2024 and 2025, that figure reduced a little bit to about 2.57 billion that has been paid in terms of ransom. That is economic sabotage. And we all agree that the current economic revival trajectory of this administration is being systematically frustrated by this issue of terrorism, insurgency, and all of those crises. So the moment I heard that pronouncement from Trump, I watched out for the general reactions, of the people to it. One thing I discovered is that there is an ugly twist that a lot of people have given to it because of a general stereotype, or perhaps they didn't listen to the details of what was contained in the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And the ugly twist they have given to it is that Trump is invading Nigeria. That's number one. And number 2, Trump is invading Nigeria to kill Muslims. Those are ugly twists or narratives that have been drawn out of it. You will agree with me that he simply has put the Nigerian government on its toe to fulfill its obligation of tackling insecurity. He simply said, you do it, else we will come in to get the job done. I think that's the very, very clear thing that all Nigerians need to understand. Trump is not saying he's invading Nigeria. Trump is not saying he's coming in to kill Christians. He's simply saying, Nigeria, there is massive killing of Christians. You would get the job done in terms of clearing all of those terrorist elements, all we're coming to do. So I want to agree fundamentally that terrorism has no regard for religious or political colorations of people. It has killed plenty Muslims as much as it has killed plenty Christians.
So from your response, you have said that it's more of a general insecurity. So from the federal government's end, what's the best way to communicate it to the international bodies? Because it seems as if a lot of people are buying, the alleged genocide that Trump has said about Nigeria.
You see, like I said earlier before you interjected, or like I was saying, Christians have been killed massively in Nigeria, just like Muslims have been killed massively in Nigeria. It is the Christians now that took the courage to raise the killing of their people to agenda status as far as the international community is concerned. And that is why Trump, being the leader of a predominantly Christian nation, feels that Christians in Nigeria are a community under threat, and they need to also respond to the protection of the lives of Christians. If the Muslims too, who have suffered from the hands of these terrorists and bandits, will also raise their matter to agenda status in terms of other Muslim nations that they think have the interest of the Muslim community in Nigeria, at heart, and can do something about it, I think they are free to do. The thing that we must not discountenance or deny is the fact that we need external help right now, especially from countries that have the wherewithal in terms of technology, who are also not politically, economically, and religiously sentimental or involved in the Nigerian issue, and can come objectively to clear out those people in the interest of protecting Nigeria's democracy. Because Nigeria's democracy is the largest in Africa, and Nigeria is a watershed for whatever will happen in the continent of Africa. If there is peace in Nigeria, the fallout will also happen in other African countries. So we are simply saying, if Christians raise their matter to agenda status, it is not a crime. Muslims are also free to raise the killing of their own Muslims to agenda status at the international community level.
Do you think that this new allegation will affect the bilateral relations between Nigeria and the U.S.?
You see, the condition, I still go back to the fundamental understanding of the content of the statement designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern. It says, get this done, else there will be consequences. One consequence is that we will put boots on the ground, put technology on the ground to wipe out those terrorists, and he says swift and, what did he say? Swift and sweet.
Swift, fast action.
Fast and sweet. That is, And number two, there will also be economic sanctions on Nigeria. Those are conditions predicated upon the failure of the Nigerian government to do the needful. And you recall that in the last 2 days after that statement from Trump, the military has stepped up in terms of cracking down on insurgents, cracking down on terrorists and bandits, and rescuing a lot of people that have been held in captivity. You see that, so it's conditional, it's predicated upon the failure of the Nigerian government to do the needful.
Thank you so much, Mr. Obole, for joining us on the Midday News and making proper clarifications to what is happening. Now, let's